Hi, I'm Beth Guckenberger, and this is your Reckless Faith Moment. During the spring of 2020, in the midst of all the COVID-19 chaos, there was lots of vague feelings of discomfort. Like, I couldn't quite put my finger on, am I sad? Am I afraid? Am I anxious? And then one day it dawned on me that I was grieving. I was grieving things that I wasn't sure I had permission to grieve. Silly things like my daughter's college graduation, which really felt like a first world problem. Like, at least she has an education. What are you really grieving? A bunch of balloons didn't get popped? Or I was grieving my son's athletic season was being impacted, which just felt like it wasn't fair to grieve. There were much harder things going on that people were grieving. Things like health scares and loss of life. Like, was it really okay for me to grieve about the small losses? But then one day I realized it was accumulating. And that vague feeling that I was experiencing was actually a grief that I needed to release. And I heard this counselor talking about how grief actually needs to be released a little bit each day. In fact, we should grieve like we poop, like just a little bit each day. When you don't grieve, you get like grief constipated. It gets all backed up, and we tend to save it for what we feel like warrants a big reaction. But the Bible says in Psalm 34, verse 18, that he's near the brokenhearted and that he saves the crushed in spirit. And I think he wants to be with us, even in those moments when it may not seem like a big deal to anyone else, but he wants to hear the things that break our heart. And I think when we have the courage to put voice to the things that are stirring inside of us, then we set ourselves up for a reckless faith moment.